Hi, welcome back to Mom Cooks and Gardens. It's a cold winter day. It's very bitter out there, and I thought for dinner I'd like to take advantage of using up some of our fall harvest and create a dish that was like warm and filling and doesn't take a lot of time out of your busy day. So I'm going to use one of our last butternut squashes. We harvested this back in the beginning of November. I grew it from seed, Baker's Seed Company honey nut squash. I really like this variety because the squashes are relatively small. You can get a single meal out of them. You don't have leftovers, and it's enough to feed 2 or 3 people. So I'm going to go ahead and get that prepped. So today's dish is a butternut squash ravioli with a brown butter sauce. And the ingredients are fairly simple. I have about 1/3 cup of pecans, a tablespoon of chopped garlic. This is a tablespoon of olive oil, 4 tablespoons of butter, and 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I've diced up the butternut squash. I'm going to drizzle it with some olive oil, lightly salt it, and put it in the oven for about 30 minutes just to roast that butternut squash, and it'll bring out the sweetness that'll complement that ravioli so good. So I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and I just wanted to give you an idea. This is what makes the meal simply easy. This brand, Rana, they carry it at most grocery stores. And they put out a butternut squash right here. Beautiful. I like to buy a package of the butternut, and I also get a package of the mushroom. I feel like the earthiness of the mushroom, and I like the bi-colored raviolis, so that you have like some of these bright orange raviolis and your traditional looking raviolis. But it helps cut the sweetness because the squash itself is very sweet. And I'm going to get these started in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, and I'll be back. So I went ahead and I tossed the butternut squash about 2 cups with some olive oil and lightly salted it. And I will get that into the oven so that it can start roasting. Again, 400 degrees. And around this time, I like to start my pasta water. So I've got that on a high heat, and I'm going to add some salt. And we'll bring that to a boil, and then we'll turn it down to probably a low medium so that the water is nice and hot and ready for when the squash finishes. We'll be able to kick it up a notch, and probably in 2 or 3 minutes it'll be back at a rolling boil so we can throw the pasta in. And while the squash is roasting, I went ahead and chopped our pecans, and I'm gonna get some of this thyme that I brought in from the garden and prep that for the sauce. So while this dish is excellent on its own as a vegetarian dish, we prefer a little bit of meat with our meals. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare some salmon. These little salmon portions are easy to pick up at the store, and they cook relatively quickly. I usually put them in the broiler on 400, and I cook them for about 10 minutes per inch of fish thickness, that is. And it looks like they're about 1 inch thick, so I'm thinking between 10 and 12 minutes they should be ready. So this is a wonderful dish that can stand on its own, especially if you're looking for a vegetarian option, but we do like a little bit more protein with our meals. So I'm going to cook some salmon portions, which I picked up at the grocery store. I will drizzle them with some lemon juice, salt, black pepper, and I will cook them in our toaster oven set to 400 for about 10 to 12 minutes. The general rule of thumb is about 10 minutes per inch thickness of the meat. And so these guys look to be about, I would say about 1 inch. So they'll finish up about the same time the butternut squash finishes roasting. And then they can rest for a few minutes while we throw that sauce together. Okay, so we're just going to give a splash of the lemon juice. I'll flip that over. Give a splash to this side. And then we'll just kind of roll it in the lemon juice. Next, we'll give it a crack of sea salt. Put some dill on it. And just a little bit of the black pepper. I like a coarse ground black pepper. And then I will flip it over and do the same thing to the next side. I feel like you can never have too much dill. Never, never. And then I'm going to place them on one of my favorite cooking sheets, which is a stone. I feel like this really keeps the meat from drying out because it disseminates the heat a little more evenly. There we go. And there you go, it's ready to be popped into the toaster oven. So we've got about 11 minutes left, which would be perfect. And then our fish can broil. I'm going to use this time to check on the butternut squash. So you can see it looks wonderful. It's roasting very well. And I am going to pull out one of the larger chunks just to see how it's cooking. So that looks what I would call fork tender, even though I'm using a knife. It's like I can't even pick it up because it's coming apart. You can see right there, very nice. And that's just about perfect. Very good. Now, roasting the butternut like this really brings out the sweetness. So we don't want to overcook it and dry it out. We will be tossing it in the pan with the other ingredients. So I think now is probably a good time to remove it. So I decided to throw on some garlic toast. I thought that would be a nice accompaniment, and I've put the butternut squash into a dish. Our fish looks like it's cooking well. I might just turn that up a little. And we're gonna work here on putting the sauce together. So the first thing I'm going to add to the pan is some olive oil, and then the butter, so the little garlic toasts look great. I'll go ahead and put them on a dish. While I'm waiting for my pan to heat up, which should be done by now. And to the pan, I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. And I have this on a medium heat. I might turn it down to a medium low. And I'm going to add the 4 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm just sliding that to the back heat to add the garlic. I'm just going to simmer that until it starts to look a little golden brown. I turn that heat down to low because I don't want to scorch the butter or the garlic. And this might be a great time to actually turn it off because I think there's enough residual heat in there. Toast that garlic up and bring out its flavor. I really like the way the garlic complements the sweetness of the butternut. So it's not overwhelmingly sweet. You have some savory mixed in there, and of course the thyme will also help bring out those flavors. Next, I'm adding in the thyme. I want to give the oil and butter a chance to release those essential oils and kind of distribute them. And then I'm going to add the balsamic vinegar. Give it a nice good stir. Now to this sauce, I'm going to add about a third a cup of toasted pecans because I like the nuttiness it brings out. And then lastly, the butternut squash. And I'm going to move it to the back burner while we throw our ravioli on. Alright, so the raviolis are just about ready. And I'm going to go ahead and scoop them out and add them to our sauce. These guys only need about 4 or 5 minutes to heat through and cook the pasta, which makes them very easy to throw together. going to gently fold the butternut squash sauce over the ravioli to coat them. This will prevent them from sticking together and distribute all the flavor. And you can also, dust this with some parsley or some more of your fresh thyme, which might be what we do. Just gonna add some fresh thyme. It gives a nice green pop of color. Looks really nice in the dish. All right. So now we're pretty much ready to plate. We've got our garlic toast, we've got our salmon, and our ravioli with butternut squash sauce. All right, so there we go. That's how our dish turned out. Fairly quick and easy. Really great, very filling. Wonderful if you're looking for a vegetarian option or if you just want a quick meal on a cold night. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe for more. All right, so this is our butternut squash. We've got a butternut pecan sauce, like a butter sauce, on the butternut squash ravioli. And I kind of made salmon as a side so we'd have some protein and garlic toast.
Awesome. Let me try it. Whoop. She thinks it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. First the salmon. I already know it's going to be good. What is it? I can only eat with chopsticks sometimes. Oh, it's a winner.
So I made this recipe once before.
Yes.
And because I was dicing up the butternut squash, I thought I would pan fry it, but I don't feel like there was enough sauce.
Okay.
So this time I actually made the sauce, the brown butter sauce, separate. And I roasted the butternut.
Oh my.
So I feel like it came out better.
This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't eat very elegantly, so I won't torture your viewers.
But like I said before, it's a great vegetarian dish.
You don't say.
It can stand alone, but if you want to put something with it, salmon, some roast chicken, even a rotisserie if you want to say
Our dogs protect us. All right. From our neighbors, from you, from everyone. So what should people do, Mom? Like and subscribe for more. Oh, Mom's eating. Mom said very quietly, like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.